日本時間11月14日、米スポーツ番組 CBS スポーツが大谷翔平選手の MVP 受賞を特集しました。番組では MLB 史に名を残すレジェンド投手ダラス・ブレイデン氏が大谷選手の歴史的活躍をこの上なく淡々と称賛。その熱いトークを日本語字幕付きでご紹介していきます。
それでは参りましょう。レッツゴータニ。
For the second year in a row, Shohei Ohtani is the National League MVP. He's now won 3 consecutive MVP awards, all unanimously. In fact, all 4 of his MVPs are unanimous. He joins Barry Bonds as the only players in baseball history to win 4 MVP awards. Bonds won the most, 7 of them. Ohtani is the only player to win the MVP twice in each league, hit 55 home runs, led all of baseball with 89 extra base hits, while also starting 14 games on the mound with a 2.87 ERA. And you take a look at the voting, another clean sweep for Shohei Ohtani. Again, all 4 of his MVP awards are unanimous. Kyle Schwarber nor Juan Soto got any first place votes. Back here with A's broadcaster Dallas Braden, one of only 24 pitchers in MLB history to throw a perfect game. Dallas, good to be back with you here. And look, we're back singing the same tune, right? Shohei Ohtani, MVP for the second year in a row. It was not a surprise. This was really just a formality.
Yeah, sweet. What's for lunch, Dream? Yep. That's pretty much how that goes, right? I jokingly said, I don't know that Ohtani could have looked any more disinterested in being on a Zoom call to take in another MVP to the point each and every one of them have been unanimous. It's really not a conversation. And I think I'm still thankful for this. And here's why. Because early on, the question was, well, if Shohei Ohtani is going to hit the way he is, and he's going to perform on the mound the way he is, does that mean he's just going to be the MVP each and every year? That's so unfair. We're not giving anybody else a chance. No. That is fair. And that's what makes him so special, is if you were to have to start from scratch and build your team with the 26 roster spots that are available to you today, you're picking one player and one player only. And everybody knows who that player is. And it's Shohei Ohtani, simply because he does everything your favorite offensive player does and more. And he does everything your favorite pitcher does and more. It just depends on which perspective you're looking at it from. So with that kind of talent, I think it's one of those things where you do, kind of like with Aaron Judge, you can go argue with a wall if you want, or you're probably better served just appreciating what you are watching. Because anytime the conversation comes up, the name that gets dropped is Babe Ruth, right? Well, he has taken that rearview mirror that Babe Ruth's name pops up in, and he has ripped it off and thrown it away, because that conversation, we could have had that a few years ago. This is a dude who is rewriting history each and every time he steps onto the baseball field. And there's nobody else that is even close to this kind of class of athlete. He's the greatest baseball talent we have ever seen on a field. He is the most valuable player. He is the most valuable performer in Major League Baseball, not just his team. So I think when you talk about a face of a sport, a face of an entity, and you look at what you're seeing from Shohei Ohtani since he showed up, there's no other name to start the conversation with. It's Shohei Ohtani.
Well, you remember in the NLCS, the game that he had to clinch the pennant, 6 scoreless innings, striking out 10, 3 home runs, and then in Game 3 of the World Series, he was on base 9 times in the 18-inning epic that they ultimately won. And look, now he has 2 World Series titles in his first 2 seasons with the Dodgers, and what he has accomplished, it's already, he could retire and be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and it would be unanimous like his MVPs. Dallas, I'm curious, as a former pitcher yourself who threw a perfect game, what do you appreciate the most about Shohei Ohtani?
His ability to bounce back and his ability to compartmentalize performances. We talk a lot about guys who are defenders, position players, who do a good job of separating maybe their lack of production offensively and are still able to go out and make game-saving plays and do a great job of anchoring their team defensively. And for Shohei Ohtani to be able to do those 2 things simultaneously is a huge mental exercise. And he is able to perform and compartmentalize the best that I think anybody has ever seen. So when you talk about leaning on Shohei's performances in one realm or the other, it doesn't ever feel like you just get a sense of him mailing it in on one side of the baseball because the other side isn't picking it up or he's not performing in that way. And I've said this about Shohei Ohtani, and I said that he knows how good he is, and he has known how good he is for a long time. Let's not forget that this is a man who took the time early on in his life to draw up and forecast his entire baseball career by age, by performance, by accolade, and he's continuing to check those boxes. I said Shohei Ohtani knew exactly what he was doing when he signed with the Anaheim Angels early on. He said, if you believe that Mike Trout is the best that your sport has to offer, I know how I feel about myself. Why don't I just line up and play side by side next to that guy, and we'll let the chips fall where they may, and then you can be the judge after the fact. And here we are talking about 4 unanimous MVPs, Hakeem. 4.
It's incredible.
Unanimous.
It's incredible. 3 straight MVP awards for Shohei Ohtani. Man, I could talk ball with you all night long. Dallas Braden, good to be back with you, my friend. Appreciate you jumping on with us and reacting here to the MVPs. And another MVP season for Shohei Ohtani. As you take a look at where this stacks up against the 4 major North American sports. Shohei Ohtani has played 8 seasons of Major League Baseball. Half of them were MVP seasons. The last 2 were World Series winning MVP seasons. Shohei Ohtani, again, in a league of his own, the only player to win the MVP twice in each league.